Thank you all for being here today. As we stand just days away from America's 250th anniversary, a sacred milestone when we celebrate the birth of the greatest nation the world has ever known, it is fitting that we take bold action to protect what makes this country exceptional. Today, I am proud to introduce the Preserving Our Constitution Act. This legislation ensures that no court, no body, no agreement in the United States will recognize or enforce foreign laws, religious laws, or customs that conflict with our Constitution and the laws that are pursuant to it. Built on the proven success of the American Laws for American Courts legislation passed in state legislatures across the nation, this bill sends a clear mission. In America, there is only one law, the Constitution of the United States. To my colleagues who have stood with me in this fight, Chip, Eli, Randy, and Mark, thank you. Your leadership and support mean a great deal. Together, we are drawing a line in defense of our republic. I also want to thank the tireless outside champions who have sounded the alarm for years, some of whom are standing here today. General Mike Flynn, Brigitte Gabriel, Frank Gaffney, Steve Bannon, the Texas Public Policy Foundation, Amy Meck, Debbie Georgiadis, and many others. Your advocacy, research, and courage have helped wake up America to this challenge. We are stronger because of you. Let me be direct. As I have said before, Sharia law is dangerous. If you do not believe it, we have 1,400 years of history around the globe to prove it. It is fundamentally at odds with the U.S. Constitution. Our law, the U.S. Constitution, begins with, "We the people." Sharia law says, "Allah has said." Ours is a Christian-based culture rooted in the idea that matters of conscience are private and personal, and that rights come from our Creator, not from government, and certainly not from any man-made legal code that places it itself above the supreme law of this land. American culture is a shining city set on a hill precisely because it is built on Christian values of individual liberty, equality before the law, freedom of speech and religion, the dignity of every person made in God's image, and the rule of law that applies equally to all, ideals that are enshrined in the very founding documents of this great nation. These values have produced the freest, most prosperous, most generous nation in human history. We will not allow any competing system, especially one that permits forced marriage, polygamy, the oppression of women, suppression of speech, or cruel punishments, to erode the blessings of liberty we enjoy. This is not about fear. It is about confidence. Confidence in the enduring greatness of American principles. As we prepare to celebrate 250 years of independence, let us affirm that America will remain one nation under God with one Constitution, with one rule of law. Sharia law has no place in America, not now, not ever. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. I will be followed by my colleague, my Christian brother, Eli Crane from the great state of Arizona.
Thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank you to Keith Self and all these patriots who stand behind me, who love this country and want to make sure that it's preserved for future generations. This legislation is extremely important. It's the type of thing that many of us have fought for over the years. Many have lost many of our friends to over the years. I don't expect some Americans to listen to us, but I'm going to tell you right now that what we're fighting for with this Sharia-Free America Caucus, I believe will become the biggest issue in the United States within the next couple decades. We face a lot of foreign threats. We all know that. But I am a firm believer that the biggest threats to the United States of America are ideologies right here within. This type of legislation would prevent any of these foreign systems from coming in, taking over, and usurping the Constitution of the United States. I cannot believe that on the eve of our 250th birthday, we have to sit here and fight to preserve the Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our way of law that has provided so much opportunity, freedom, and prosperity for so many Americans. But here we are. We are fighting for that. It will continue to be a fight, and I'm glad that I'm not alone in this fight. I'm glad that a lot of Americans back home are just as concerned about these foreign ideologies that are not compatible with the United States Constitution, that are trying to be pushed and ultimately take over this country. So thank you, Representative Self, for offering this legislation. Thank you for those of you that have been fighting this battle for a long time, and we will continue this fight. I now turn this podium over to my friend and colleague, Congressman Randy Fine.
Well, thank all of you for being here today. As a member of the Florida legislature almost a decade ago, I was proud to support the American Laws for American Courts Act when we did that in Florida. So why do we need to do this today? Why has Congressman Self taken the courageous move of trying to pass this law at the federal level? It's because every day, every week, every month, every year, we see the rise of a philosophy that would seek to exterminate what I can see right there on that flag behind us. America was the greatest country, is the greatest country in the history of the world. And what made it great is that we believed, as part of our founding principles, that you could come to the United States, you could practice your faith, whatever that faith was, in peace and privacy. And how you chose to practice your faith did not affect how anyone else chose to practice theirs. But that has changed in recent years and recent decades. Christians and Jews believe that they can practice their faith on their own. But we now have a new ideology, an ideology that says in order for them to practice their religion, you must submit to it. In order for them to practice their faith, you must practice it too. And that is fundamentally incompatible with the values of the United States. It is fundamentally in conflict with the First Amendment. It is fundamentally in conflict with what millions of Americans have fought for and died for over the years. And what this law will say is you're allowed to believe that everyone must submit to your faith in order for you to practice it, but you cannot force it through the laws into the United States of America. I don't eat pork, but I don't expect others not to eat pork as well. That's what this is about, a recognition that we are not one giant human family. We do not share the same values, and there are some cultures and there are some civilizations that stand above others. Ours stands at the top. 250 years ago, our founders pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to create this great experiment that we have today. But Ronald Reagan said we're only one generation from losing it, where that risk has never been greater than it is today. And thanks to Congressman Self and this act, we will continue to fight back to make sure that we continue for another 250 years to continue that experiment that started 250 years ago. Thank you very much, and I want to recognize Representative Harris. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Fine, and thank you today for each one of you for being a part of this event. I do want to especially thank Congressman Keith Self for leading this press conference and for his leadership in the Sharia-Free America Caucus alongside Congressman Chip Roy. As we stated, this Saturday, Americans all across this country will celebrate 250 years of independence and the founding values that make the United States the greatest nation on earth. And as we mark this historic milestone, we're reminded that America was founded on the belief that our rights come from God, not government, and that our Constitution exists to protect the rights for every American. We are blessed to live in a country where every citizen has a voice, every family has a future, and every generation has the opportunity to pursue the American dream. But that promise only endures if we defend the Constitution and reject any foreign or religious legal system that seeks to supersede it. And yes, that includes Sharia law. You see, Sharia is not merely a personal faith. It is a legal and political system that threatens individual liberty, due process, and freedoms our founders fought to secure. No foreign legal code, religious court, or separate system of justice should ever be allowed to override the constitutional rights of the American people. One nation cannot have two systems of justice. Ours, ladies and gentlemen, has endured for 250 years for a reason. And that is why I stand here today, proud to stand with my colleagues in the Sharia-Free America Caucus, who are committed to defending the Constitution and putting America values first. And with that, it's my pleasure to welcome to the microphone General Mike Flynn.
I'm going to be very brief. I am deeply, deeply honored to be standing up here with these servant leaders, especially Representative Keith Self, amazing leader and servant of great state of Texas, as well as these other men and women that are behind me. Some, as you can tell, are from Congress. Others are from other walks of life here that we've been working for decades, really, but certainly the last decade, to bring this law to fruition. So we are hopeful and we are honored to be part of it. I am certainly deeply honored. This is something that has been a long time in coming for me. I will tell you that, as has been stated already, we are at our 250th year this weekend with a beautiful thing called the United States Constitution. And in order for us to preserve this country for another 250 years, for these young people that are represented here, we should only and can only follow one set of laws, and that's our U.S. Constitution. Right. It's a fine document, best document ever written in the history of mankind for any creation of any nation state. And for us to try to feel or get imposed another set of laws, it's just not something that we should have or we should ever want in this country. That's why we have the Constitution. So I'm honored to be here. I appreciate the great leadership of all these representatives that you see behind me, especially Keith Self out of Texas, and I would just say that in order to preserve the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, we are going to have this law, and I pray that our members of Congress will see it just the way I see it, and as many millions of other Americans across this country, this great country of ours, see it. As one of the congressmen pointed at, beautiful flag behind us, in order to preserve that flag and make sure that that thing continues to fly. So God bless you all, God bless America, and have a happy 4th of July.
I'm now honored to have two of the heroes of the American law for American court laws across the states, Brigitte Gabriel and Frank Gaffney. Please.
Thank you. I am truly honored to be here today to see the preservation of our Constitution Act of 2026 introduced at the federal level in Congress. As Congressman Self said, we have worked so hard on passing ALAC, American Laws for American Courts, across the nation in 13 states, the latest being Texas in 2017. The Constitution has been the bedrock of the United States and the document that made America the greatest nation on the face of the planet. People flocked from all over the world coming to the United States to enjoy the protection and the freedoms afforded by the United States Constitution. People came here like me as immigrants, legal immigrants to this great nation, to live under the protection of the United States Constitution, to enjoy the liberties, to enjoy becoming everything we can be, to enjoying being able to accomplish without the fear of being beaten, being killed, being hijacked, or being killed in honor killing. As a legal immigrant, as a woman from the Middle East to this great nation, I especially rally behind this bill because it is for the protection of women, especially women coming from Islamic countries, who are brought to this country by their Islamic husbands who ask and seek to practice Sharia law when it comes to domestic abuse and domestic problems in the house. This bill is for the protection and preservation of the lives of tens of thousands of American women who came from Islamic countries that now can live and know that the United States Constitution will stand behind them and support them, that they will not be relegated to some Islamic law operating parallel to our law. In the United States, we will never allow, especially a dedication this week on our 250th anniversary of the United States, we will never allow any foreign law to be practiced along with our Constitution. The Constitution is the law of this land. It was founded on this law. It will remain this law, and we will fight with our tooth and nail to make sure we protect it for our future generations. And this is why we must get behind this bill. I urge all of you watching right now, whether on C-SPAN or anywhere else, to contact your elected officials to stand with you in the preservation and protection of the United States Constitution. No better week than this week, the 4th of July, standing in Washington, D.C. And we are committed as an organization, Act for America, to stand behind and support this bill until we see its passage. Thank you for having me here today. I am honored to be a part of this historic launching of this bill, and I am honored to introduce my colleague who worked hand in hand with me on the passage of ALAC nationwide, my colleague Frank Gaffney.
Thank you. Like Brigitte, I've had the privilege of trying to raise awareness about this problem for decades. Like Brigitte, we worked hand in glove to try to make sure that the American people understood the agenda of what I think are best described as Sharia supremacists. Like Brigitte, and now like these distinguished members of Congress and others who are part of this incredibly important caucus, we recognize that there's more work to be done. The American people must become acquainted with the magnitude of the danger that we face. Brigitte, I think, mentioned that, we don't want some other law alongside ours, our Constitution, and everything that's been promulgated in accordance with it. That's not the problem, ladies and gentlemen. The Sharia supremacists want their law instead of ours. And as I think Congressman Self very importantly noted, the object of their exercise is to compel us to submit to their agenda. That must not happen. This particular bill, Preserving the Constitution Act, is an incredible break from the passivity that we've seen from too many in public life for far too long. I pray that it will build on the incredible momentum in Congressman Self and Congressman Roy's native state of Texas, imparted on the 3rd of March when 1.9 million Texans said Texas should prohibit Sharia law. That needs to be our watchword. I believe it can be. I think this moment on our 250th anniversary and with the midterm elections coming up, it is the time to make sure the American people are equipped with the information to fight against those who would impose Sharia on us and destroy our Constitution and with it our republic. Let us go forth and multiply. Let us support these men and women in the caucus, and let us take this fight to the states where it must be adopted universally to save America and save freedom for the Western civilized world. God bless you all, and God bless these men.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I thank you for coming. In the interest of the heat that we're experiencing, this group is going to move over to the shade to take a few pictures. If you want to have individual questions to any of this group, please adjourn to over there. Thank you very much for being here. Let's preserve our Constitution.
Thank you, sir. Best decision ever.
All right. I agree 100%.
So.